Hi, everybody. I'm here today with one of our fabulous teachers who's going to be teaching 4 classes with us this semester. And we wanted to talk about what those classes are going to look like and why you should join us. So, welcome, Geri.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And you may know Geri from teaching dance in many places throughout town, choreography, performing. She also directed and choreographed our production of Newsies, one of our most popular productions we've ever produced. So thank you for being a part of Newsies. We're still loving and talking about Newsies. And now let's talk about what's coming up this semester. So Sundays, we have 2 jazz classes with you, Geri. Can you tell us a little bit more about what those jazz classes will look like?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is at the 6 o'clock class, we're calling that more the beginner class. And basically, it's for those people that haven't had much formal dance training or just want to improve on some of their technique. I actually had said, because the 7 o'clock class is more intermediate advanced, and somebody might want to take both because the beginner would be a great warm up and really start working on some technique. I know when I teach it, I always work on my technique while I'm at it. So it'll be a warm up, definite warm up, because that's super important. I don't want anyone to get injured. And then normally I do some across the floor. That's going to be a little bit hard to do at home. So I'll probably adjust that, but do, a little bit more technique. And then we'll just get some fun routines. And since it's a 5-week course, what I'll do is probably just pick one routine and build on it each week. But if you miss a week, we'll go back and review. It's more for fun and for technique. We're not working towards a dance recital or something like that for this particular class. So, it'll be just, I think, a good time as far as that goes. And honestly, the 6 o'clock is for all levels. I did have someone ask if it needed to be older because of maybe the content, and that is not true. It's going to be very age appropriate, family appropriate, nothing like some of the YouTube videos will not be seen. So that's just to make, especially parents, if you're concerned about that, it's going to be more musical theater oriented. So just some different styles, but more technique-y. And then the 7 o'clock class is the more intermediate advanced. And basically, I'm just going to move faster in that class, and we'll expect, you should have your basic pirouettes down, chaîné turns down, jetés, those basic steps. And if you don't know what those steps are, then come to the 6 o'clock class, learn them, and then, hang on if some people pick up super, super fast. And we'll probably do a harder routine. I'll have 2 different routines. So they'll be just a little bit more difficult, move a little faster, a little harder technique, and just moving a little faster. But both very laid back. I just want people to have a good time. We had hoped, obviously, to do these in person, and that's not happening just yet. So I'd really love for some of our parents, maybe our adults, to come into these classes as well. I had some people indicate interest last spring, and then everything happened. So hopefully we can still get some people in to play with that a little bit and dance along with your kids. Or if you don't have kids, just do the dancing you always wanted to do and never got a chance.
Yes, that's great. Or if you're like me and you used to dance, the dusting off the cobwebs, and
Yep.
get back in the class. It's a
Yeah,
great
definitely.
class for that. I will say one of the things we're excited about is that we are opening this class to adults because many of our classes at DMR are only for youth, but this one is for adults and teens. So we really hope you'll join. And the other thing is, it is a 5-week class, but you can also you can do a drop in. So if you can't come every week, or if you just want to try it out the first week and see what you think, you can sign up as a drop-in class.
Definitely. And that's, especially most of the teen adult classes I teach, that works best because we all have things that happen and things that come up or conflicts. And, so that way you can still have a good time and still work on your technique and your jazz.
Great. And then this class starts Sunday, September 20th and runs through Sunday, October 25th. Again, the 6 o'clock for beginners and the 7 o'clock class for intermediate advanced. I'm planning to take both so I can do a warm up and remember all of these moves and get into the intermediate advanced class. Okay, great. So now let's talk about tap, one of my favorites. And our students at DMR love tap. Some of them are very scared about it. So we have a beginning class and also an intermediate and advanced class. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes. So the beginning class is truly going to be for beginners. I'm going to start with the very basics, heel drops, toe drops, these things that, first of all, you may not know what they're called, but also the very basic for all the tap steps, and work on rhythm and kind of hearing the rhythm and just getting a feel for that, and weight shifting. And a lot of that beginning tap stuff is actually not as hard as you think it's going to be. A lot of people think tap is really hard. And it's not, unless you get thrown into a big routine, especially those of us that do musical theater. Oh, I'm in this tap show, here, do a double time step. And, if you've had no tap, that just really is frustrating. So the plan of the beginning class is to get those basics down. And I move fairly fast with them, and just because people get it. So people that are in tap class want to be there. So, and I have yet to see anyone that can't get it. Now, some it's easier than others, but everybody gets it by the end. And it takes practice and all of that good stuff. But so that's going to be the super, super basics. If you've had a little bit of tap in shows or something, but not much, I would start with this one. Because again, as I tell my students, it's always good to review, first of all. And if you take the first one or two and you're like, oh, I already know all this, great, go into the next one. But if you're unsure, I would take that first one on Monday, if you can, and then see where you are with it, and then you can always bump up to the next one if you already know all that stuff. But I think it'll be a lot of fun. We will also do the first class, probably not tons of routines, because by the time you get through all the basics and learn some of these fun steps, shuffle off to buffalo, maxi fours, all these fun steps that you hear about, that pretty much takes up the whole class. The second class is where we'll do a little more routine work, probably, and working with rhythms. And both classes, though, are going to have improvisation, because that's a big part of tap dancing, is making up your own steps, because that's the fun part about tap. It's all about the rhythm and hearing it. And so you can I have my students often come up with way better steps than I ever do. So, and then I steal them. So that's something that we'll be working on in both classes, and don't let that scare you. It's a super fun thing. There's no wrong answer. That's the best part of it. There's no wrong answer. You just can play. So that's kind of the basics. And then the intermediate advanced class, like I say, those, you should already know your buffaloes, your buffalo turns, your maxi forwards. Don't have to have pullbacks yet if you haven't. Wings, definitely not. To me, a wing is an advanced step to do properly. But you should have your basics. And there we probably will do some routines. I'm toying with the opening number to 42nd Street, depending on my students. I actually learned the original choreography from someone that was in the original cast, and it's on YouTube, and you can find it anywhere, but it's a really fun routine. And it looks easy, but it's not. So I'm thinking about doing that, because that would be a fun one I think we could pull together in that 5 weeks and just have that in your repertoire, is my thought.
Great. Well, that sounds fantastic, Geri. I can't wait to get started, and I can't wait for our students to enjoy your classes as well. One of the fun things is that Geri is going to be teaching from our DMR studios at the Belmont Arts Collaborative. So even though you can't be there, she'll be there, and we'll be live streaming from there. So we're really excited about that. The classes are on Zoom. You can sign up at dmradventures.com. And most of the classes, you can do a drop-in, or you can sign up for the whole series for most of these classes. So we can't wait to get started, Geri. Thank you so much.
Can I say one other thing that I forgot?
Sure.
The tap classes, if you don't have tap shoes, that's okay, especially for the beginners. You can make a lot of good noise with hard-soled shoes or even sneakers. So don't let that hold you back. You don't have to have tap shoes to take it. The intermediate advanced probably should, and where you're tapping depends on your house. So be careful, and don't tap up on the floors without asking your folks if you live at home. There are tons of YouTube videos on how to make up a nice little tap floor, and there's commercially available little personal tap floors too if you're really into it. So be aware of that, but you don't have to have tap shoes. You can do a lot without them.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks so much, Geri.
Cool. Thank you.